kind of wish the Doctor would wipe my memory of this thought. So guys, we're obviously into the new series of Doctor Who. We've had our first episode, it's gotten rolling, and something that I already talked about, which is the fact that we know down the line in this series we are getting John Simm back, and he is supposed to be appearing as the Master alongside Missy. Now, I expressed my kind of interest, intrigue, and excitement at this because it is going to be the first time we've had a multi-Master story, in a show at any rate. I think they've done it in some of the audios, and possibly the novels, but we've never had it in the show before, and that really excites me. Something that struck me a little bit odd, though I guess I'm not that surprised by it, is I had a fair number of people, and I don't, when I talk about, you know, fan reactions, I'm largely talking about what I see in my own comment section. I've got to the point where I avoid a lot of the message boards and whatnot, not because I don't like those conversations or whatnot, I actually enjoy them, but when we're into the season, I always fear about coming across spoilers, even if it's, like, I've come across, you know, fan theories that turn out to be correct and it feels like a spoiler. So I avoid them for that reason. So I don't know how widespread this notion is, but I have seen it in my own comments that people were throwing out the idea that bringing John Simm back meant that Missy was going to be revealed to be somebody other than the Master. Now, I want to put flat out, I don't like that as a notion. I don't believe it, first of all, but I really don't like it as a notion because, well, for a number of reasons, because that just feels like that, you know what that feels like? That feels like a superhero comic book trope. And, you know, just the, oh, this character that, you know, it was really this the whole time. And it doesn't feel like Doctor Who. I mean, multi-Master story is the kind of timey-wiminess that Doctor Who allows us to experience. Why would you chuck that in favor of a much more cliched, oh, and here's the real Mandarin, you know, that kind of junk. So I don't like that as a notion, but I saw it suggested, and I've seen people say like, well, maybe it's the Rani, which I really hope not, because I don't like the Rani as a character, but that's all on top of the fact that I don't like this as a general notion. But even though I don't like it as a general notion, I had a thought. And I had it the other day, and I've had a hard time shaking it, and it has wormed its way into my head, and I don't believe this to be the case, and I really hope it isn't. But I kind of want to put it on record that it occurred to me, so just on the awful chance that it does end up being the case, it's on record that I called it. And this was the thought that occurred to me because people were also trying to ascribe some meaning, like some extra meaning beyond just, you know, sentimentality to the picture of Susan that the Doctor has in his office in the first episode we got, in the pilot. And my brain went and mashed those two together and thought, oh my God, what if they reveal that Missy is really Susan? Oh God, I hope not. Like I said, I hate this idea. And I hate that I had it. And I hate that I'm having a hard time shaking it loose. I've got no evidence to back this up. It was just a thought that occurred to me that for whatever reason just gave me that sinking feeling that it's just, and maybe it's that sinking feeling that makes it hard to shake. It was just an idea. It was like, oh, that's something they could do. It probably wouldn't be sticking. I might have even forgotten about it by now, but it's just that, oh God, oh, and again, I want to stress that, like, I don't think that showing Susan is meant to have extra poignancy or extra meaning in the first place. I think it's just sort of just tying back to his history. I feel like the show is embracing its longtime history a little bit more lately. I mean, just showing that cup with all the different sonic screwdrivers, including a ton that, you know, predate the modern era. They have, for crying out loud, they had the second Doctor's sonic screwdriver in there, which is basically just a pen light. So, you know, it is my thought and my hope that all they're doing is just doing more connections back to older stuff. I even saw somebody suggest in the comments that maybe it means we're going to see the first Doctor again. I don't think that's true either. But at the same time, while I have enjoyed Moffat's tenure, and I actually am a defender of most of what he's done, I know that sometimes he gets too clever for his own good. And sometimes he has notions and ideas that are clever on paper, and in the pursuit of executing them, he undermines other stuff. For me, that was a big part of why Clara didn't work, especially at the tail end. Again, I know some people love Clara, and that's great if you do. I'm not here to argue with you. But I'm saying that level of, you know, being too clever by half is the kind of mentality that could lead someone to think that Susan being Missy was a good idea, and it's not. I don't think the idea of bringing back Susan is a great idea in the first place, but the idea of, you know, here's this longtime ally and they're back and now they're evil, like, again, that's just so, it's so superhero comic book, and it's not Doctor Who. Yeah, I just needed to share this thought because I felt like it was going to eat away at me if I didn't just kind of get it out there. And maybe now that I've talked about it, and hopefully people will debunk it in the comments. My dreaded fear is that people are going to flood my comments with a bunch of evidence backing this idea up. And I really hope that doesn't happen. But whatever your thoughts are, even if you think I'm right, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Give a listen to the Council of Geeks podcast, available on iTunes and Stitcher. Until next time, this council is adjourned.